All right, so let's move on to this next story. And this is a story about the Earth doing something very strange.
The Earth or the Earthlings?
The Earth
Okay.
in general.
All right.
All right, so scientists have noticed that the Earth is speeding up and that it's moving so much faster now that they want to modify the length of a day.
Yeah. So I don't know what your article says, but I can tell you they might try to normalize it a little bit and say, it's not that this doesn't ever happen. It's just happening more. Hopefully they tell you it's happening more than normal. It's it's extraordinary how much it happened in the last year.
Yes.
As compared to a normal year. Does your story talk about that?
It does. It tells the differences. Now, normally our day is 24 hours, obviously, in minutes and seconds. And the amount of difference in speed is only in seconds, which doesn't seem like a lot. But when you start compounding that day after day, it ends up being very significant, especially to things like systems that use the position of the satellites, satellite technology, navigation, those sorts of things. Now, what's so strange about this is that in general, the speed of the Earth's rotation has slowed down over time. And the deacceleration has also changed a little bit over time, and it's caused them to add what they call leap seconds onto the official time to keep the time and everything, the official time, where it should be. And since the 1970s, they've done a total of 27 leap seconds. They've been added at different times to the official time. The last time they added a leap second was on New Year's Eve in 2016. However, in 2020, all of this has just suddenly changed. July 19th, 2020, the actual day on Earth was the shortest day ever recorded.
Wow.
Ever recorded. So the Earth sped up its rotation. It was just milliseconds, but still it was faster than it's ever gone. And it says that since then, the record short day has been broken a total of 28 times.
Right.
So that's the really amazing thing. The deacceleration, think of it, since the 70s, they've only had to add a second 27 times. And in 2020, we broke that record 28 times in 2020.
Right.
And they feel like it's getting so out of hand, they might have to add what they're calling a negative leap second, to kind of take some time off to adjust it again so that those specific systems, things that the tools that, people use won't be broken so that they'll continue to work. But they have no idea.
Do they not?
Why it's just all of a sudden changed.
Yeah.
According to this article, they don't have any idea. They might have an idea, but they didn't tell us what it was.
All right. So I stick with certain websites and, certain YouTube channels and what have you. And one of those would be Suspicious Observers. I've talked about them quite a few times over the years, and I've been with them pretty much since the beginning. They've talked about this for a long time and, and been building up to during the Grand Solar Minimum and building up to the majority of the stuff on the channel is how the sun and solar activity is related to be able to predict earthquakes and such, because there's never been a good earthquake prediction model, and it always adds up. Like, for the most part, it always, if you got like some bad CMEs or whatever, Anyway, this has been something they've been talking about. They've been talking about, the severity. And when this happened, this report, he's always very down to earth.
Right.
He goes, folks, this is not good. This is not good. And he starts talking about really what it leads to, what it's pointing to, and what we're due for, which we're overdue for, really, is a pole flip. And you've heard it talked about. You've heard of, the scenarios and everything with that. And I don't know. I don't think anybody's really sure what kind of crazy that will cause.
Right. Surely something will happen, though.
Yeah, for the pole flip. But that's one of the things that it seems like it could be leading to, which is not good.
No.
It's just not a good thing. You got to imagine everything we rely on, tides, the sun. Just life in general, life as we know it, pretty much we rely on everything sticking with the status quo.
Right.
That's just scary. It's scary with the velocity, right? The ferocity that it's doing this with doing what they've done in 30 years in 1 year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And I love how in this article they talk about, how it's speeding up and how they may just need to do a negative leap year second. Of course, they've never done that before.
Yeah.
They've never had to do that before, but they just play it off like, well, this is the answer. Everything will be fine. It's all good.
Yeah. They never know what they're talking about.
No.
I mean, they really don't. Unfortunately, most of your academic scientists seem to be there to try to explain away things or to calm fears or to fit it into the model.
It's like they want to tell you what's going on, but they got to do it in such a way that people don't flip out.
People are too worried about their reputations and their jobs. I mean, I get it.
Right.
Trust me. But sometimes you want to say what you really feel and you can't. So I do get it. It just sucks when you're dealing with, I don't know, life and death. It makes it a little bit different.
It does.
It should be somewhat of a moral dilemma.
Yes, that's true.
So just to explain a little bit about this and about why it should be concerning to you as it is to me, it's not something that happens often, but the poles flipped like 788,000 years ago, somewhere around there. And they've done it, dozens of times in the history of the planet. But, we weren't really built up like now.
Right.
Or were we?
I mean, you never know.
Past civilizations, what caused them to go away, right? What caused cataclysms and this and that.
Could there have been ancient technology and then
flip? Right. And we know there was ancient technology. It's everywhere. But basically, and this is some from National Geographic, just a little quip here on some of the things to do with the pole reversals, right? Not entirely sure what'll happen, but this is some interesting stuff. So the magnetic field that protects our planet from solar and galactic radiation, the dangerous rays that can harm things on our planet, is generated in the outer core. As energy travels through that core, it creates an electrical current, which in turn creates a magnetic shield that goes far out into space. In the 1980s, scientists started to send satellites up to the atmosphere and get these little glimpses of what was happening to the magnetic shield. Through math, they were able to take those calculations from outer space and look at what's happening inside the molten outer core where the field is generated. And what they have found is phenomenally surprising. There is an absolute tortured bunch of magnetic fields within the core. You've got two pole magnetic fields that protect our planet, the north and south poles. But within this molten core, there are all these factions, like the Battle of the Titans. They're trying to topple the dipole. If they succeed, which they've done hundreds of times in the planet's history, then the north and south poles switch place. Scientists have found that all planets and animals respond to the magnetic field of our planet. Say you're a whale. Now, this is really interesting. Say you're a whale trying to get up the coast of North America to where the good fish are in the spring, where you can fatten yourself up, breed, and pass on your DNA. If you can't figure out how to get there by navigating with the magnetic field, then that may affect your reproductive strategy. So the interesting part to this is I believe it's the orca whale. I'm not sure. It's one that is normally solitary.
Right.
Unless it's getting busy, it's been traveling in packs. They have found it in packs, and that's just never happened. And I thought that was strange when I heard it, right?
Right.
But what if they're doing that because they have to stick together because the magnetic field's kind of screwy?
That's true. I mean, there's been a lot of strange marine
anomalies,
like things washing up where they shouldn't be and, stuff like that.
Yeah. And to, further on, our electronic grids are very tightly interconnected. So a failure in one part of it can cascade across the planet. And get this, there was a near miss in 2012 from an absolute superstorm that the sun let loose. I remember this. This massive once in 150 year event happened to be released when the sun was facing away from the earth. Had it been a week or two earlier, it would have been directly facing our planet, and forensic analysis suggests we would have been knocked right back to the Victorian age in terms of electrical systems that have happened. That's how close it was. It was just luck, right? So anyway, the poles flipped. They're not really sure what would happen except for the fact that it'll knock out every bit, because that's our protection. And our protection will be disrupted for who knows how long. But,
right.
you know, when that would happen, it would absolutely knock out all our communications. We would not have any Wi-Fi. We would not have any TV. We would not have any electricity at all. Okay. I don't know how long it would take them to get that back, but it would be messed up, and there definitely wouldn't be satellites. So you've got all these people that are scared to death because they can't see if their nukes are, if they're getting nuked or not, because they have no satellites.
Right.
Do you want that kind of stuff with the impulse people are on? Not me.
No, me neither.
And you know, there's a lot of terrifying once you get past the idiot part of it. It's just terrifying about how ready are you for no grocery store? You know, how ready are you for growing your own crops, or how much food do you have to even make it long enough to grow a crop? You know, are you prepared? Do you have your emergency rations? Because you might want to have some weapons, and you might want to have some rations. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen or it's ever going to happen, but all I know is that science is showing that the Earth is speeding up at an unprecedented rate of speed that it's never done before. And there's a lot of those never done before, never happened before. And it seems like every story we've done, now we've done this show for over a decade. I can tell you from experience that the last couple of years, we have had so many stories that it's been unprecedented. I get tired of saying the word.
Right.
Or we've never seen this before. This has never happened before.
It's the first time for this or the first time for that. Yeah.
Think back in your own memories when you're watching, you know, maybe you watch the stories with storms, right? Or the hottest day ever recorded on the planet Earth, or the most powerful storm we've ever seen recorded on the planet Earth. Now, this has all happened the last couple of years. The highest winds we've ever seen recorded on the planet Earth. You know, it's been one right after another, after another, after another, unprecedented things as far as us recording it, right? So it's just nuts, man. And also, screwy magnetic fields can mess with us. We're part of that too. And can mess with things we do, the way we act, impulses, and such things. And I don't know about you, but the last couple of years hasn't been normal in my world. So it's like everybody went batshit crazy not so long ago. So
this is true.
I don't know, man. Call it a conspiracy theory or preparation. You know, either way, you might want to go buy some rations.